Welcome to TERAFLORA Studio, a place where creativity blooms and every corner of your backyard can whisper stories of transformation. Today, we invite you to embark on a gentle journey where ordinary objects, once forgotten or discarded, find new life in the hands of imagination. Broken chairs, cracked pots, worn-out fabrics, and empty bottles are not mere remnants. They are raw materials for beauty, waiting for your touch. Before we begin, a small note. This content has been thoughtfully composed using AI to inspire your DIY endeavors. Every word, however, carries a human intention to guide, encourage, and open your eyes to possibilities hidden in what others may see as waste. Here, in the quiet hush of summer afternoons, we explore how art, nature, and sustainability intertwine, creating spaces that nurture both plants and the spirit. Observe, copy, and modify these ideas. Let your hands shape petals from plastic bottles, twist old t-shirts into hanging baskets, or paint weathered pans into vibrant wall art. Each creation is a meditation, a gentle rebellion against throwaway culture, and a celebration of patience, color, and imagination. Imagine the sun warming your garden, the hum of bees nearby, and the soft swaying of vines and fabrics that you've transformed with care. If these ideas spark a flicker of curiosity or joy, we invite you to subscribe to TERAFLORA Studio. By doing so, you become part of a growing community that sees beauty in the overlooked and finds inspiration in everyday life. Together, let's nurture creativity that blooms quietly yet boldly, filling gardens with color, warmth, and meaning. Step forward, pick up what lies idle, and let it flourish. Let us show you how even the simplest objects can hold stories, whisper poetry, and make your backyard a sanctuary of wonder. Observe, copy, and modify from the ideas in this project, and you can create your own bottle bloom magic in your backyard. Imagine stepping into a quiet summer afternoon, where a once plain wooden fence now hums with gentle life. Each flower you see, born from a discarded plastic bottle, is kissed by paint and shaped with care. Lavender, peach, and sky blue petals curl as if to capture sunlight itself. They climb, twirl, and wrap around the fence with graceful intent, not rooted in soil, yet thriving with purpose. In this space, bees flit from real flowers to your handmade blooms, indifferent to origin, drawn only to color and scent. Mint leaves and marigolds sway softly in the breeze, mingling fragrance with sunlight. The translucent petals reflect tiny arcs of rainbow when morning rays strike at just the right angle. It is a quiet celebration of transformation. What was once trash now sings in the garden air. To start your own, collect clean plastic bottles of various sizes. With a sharp pair of scissors, cut petals and curl edges to mimic real blooms. Paint them using acrylic or spray paints, layering soft gradients for depth. Attach them to wires or string for climbing vines, and fasten gently to a fence or trellis. Consider mixing in small real plants below. The contrast of living greens with colorful plastic gives a sense of harmony and surprise. The beauty of this DIY lies in its imperfection. No two petals need match. No two flowers are identical. Each bend, each brushstroke tells a story of care, patience, and imagination. Children peek through the fence to marvel, discovering the subtle hum of creativity behind each vibrant bloom. Even on a quiet day, the garden seems alive, holding the memory of hands that dared to see beauty where others see waste. Your bottle blooms do not demand water, yet they bring life into your backyard in an entirely new way. They invite attention, admiration, and quiet reflection. Here, color, sunlight, and human touch replace soil and roots, showing that transformation is always possible. And as you step back, notice how sunlight dances through petals, how shadows bend and shift, and how your backyard, once ordinary, now breathes poetry. Observe, copy, and modify these ideas to create your own rustic lanterns in your backyard. Imagine the sun slowly stretching its golden fingers across your garden as evening begins to unfold. The once ordinary metal cans, previously holding soup or beans, now hang like tiny secrets among the branches, each pierced with delicate patterns of flowers, stars, or abstract shapes. When lit, soft beams escape through these small openings, painting dappled patterns across leaves, flowers, and the wooden fence. The atmosphere shifts instantly. The garden hums with gentle life. Bees pause mid-flight, butterflies drift lazily, and a soft breeze carries the faint scent of rosemary and marigold. Even a simple basket of peaches on a nearby table seems kissed by magic. These lanterns don't shout. They hum. They hum of slow evenings, second chances, and the quiet enchantment of seeing something ordinary become extraordinary. To start your own, gather clean metal cans, punch or drill holes in creative patterns, and optionally paint them with cheerful pastel colors or metallic shades. Insert tea lights or small LED candles, and hang the cans using sturdy string or wire from tree limbs, pergolas, or garden stakes. Position them at different heights to create depth and play with light. The beauty of this DIY project lies in its simplicity and intimacy. The soft glow transforms your garden space into a sanctuary, a place for quiet reflection, summer dinners, or evening storytelling. Each lantern carries a sense of history. A can that once held dinner now radiates warmth and light. Children chase the flickering shadows across the garden floor, laughter intertwining with the subtle hum of the lights. Rustic lanterns remind us that beauty often comes from reimagining the familiar. With patience and creativity, discarded materials take on new life. The glow of these lanterns doesn't just illuminate the garden. It illuminates the imagination, inviting every observer to pause, notice, and marvel at what can be made with a little care and vision. In every tiny perforation of light, there is a story of transformation, ordinary objects becoming extraordinary moments of joy and inspiration. Observe, copy, and modify to make your own detergent bottle garden planters at home. Imagine walking through your backyard in the quiet hush of morning. The sun peeks through trees, casting a gentle glow on a row of colorful planters made from once-forgotten detergent bottles. Each one has been lovingly cut, cleaned, and painted with soft patterns or bright, cheerful colors, now cradling life where soap once resided. Mint curls over the edge of a peach-colored bottle, lemon balm leans gently toward the sun, and tiny daisies peek shyly from a turquoise vessel. The plants seem to smile, thriving in containers born of creativity and second chances. This is a garden that does not judge. Here, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The discarded becomes essential. Children peer curiously into each planter, discovering a secret world of green tucked inside plastic shells. To recreate this at home, gather clean detergent bottles of various sizes. Cut them into open-top planters, then paint them with acrylics or markers for personality. Small hand-painted touches, like floral doodles or stripes, bring a playful, vibrant energy. Fill each bottle with soil and your choice of herbs, succulents, or small flowers. Arrange them along fences, pathways, or patios, mixing heights and colors for a dynamic visual flow. The magic of these planters lies in their adaptability and charm. You don't need perfect symmetry. Each curve, each color, each plant placement is unique, reflecting your personality and care. The scent of herbs mingles with the summer air, creating a sensory experience that delights both eyes and nose. Bees and butterflies drift past, interacting naturally with your little ecosystems. These DIY planters are not just practical, they are symbols of transformation. Each bottle, once meant for cleaning, now supports life and beauty. They remind us that sustainability and creativity can coexist beautifully in our daily lives. By repurposing materials thoughtfully, you invite wonder into your backyard, proving that even the simplest household items can hold extraordinary potential. In the soft rustle of leaves and the gentle sway of painted bottles, the garden hums a quiet lesson. Care, imagination, and intention can turn anything into something remarkable. Observe, copy, and modify these ideas to create your own yogurt cup herb pots. Imagine a gentle morning in your backyard, where a soft hush settles over rows of tiny hand-painted pots. Each yogurt cup, once destined for the trash, now carries life within it. Basil stretching its green leaves, chamomile tipping toward sunlight, and thyme spilling gracefully over the rim. Painted in soft violets, sunny yellows, and gentle blues, each cup is a miniature canvas, reflecting care, imagination, and the joy of transformation. These tiny gardens do more than grow herbs, they tell stories. Children lean close to peek into each pot, discovering miniature forests of flavor and scent. Bees hover around, drawn to the vibrant colors and the sweet fragrance of herbs, oblivious to the fact that these vessels were once discarded. The garden hums softly with life, carrying whispers of patient hands who chose to see possibility rather than waste. To make your own, gather clean yogurt cups and paint them with acrylic paints in any pattern or design that inspires you. Consider floral motifs, stripes, or soft summer gradients. Use soil appropriate for herbs and plant small seedlings, arranging them at different heights or clustering similar colors together for visual harmony. Wooden sticks with hand-lettered plant names add charm and clarity, helping children or visitors connect with each herb. The magic of this DIY lies in its intimacy. Unlike large planters, these yogurt cups encourage small, attentive gestures. Watering each cup carefully, rotating them towards sunlight, noticing growth daily. Each cup becomes a lesson in mindfulness, creativity, and sustainability. The imperfection of hand-painted lines or slightly crooked cups adds character, a reminder that beauty often comes from love and attention rather than perfection. These miniature herb gardens are not only practical, supplying fresh leaves for cooking, but also poetic. They transform ordinary yogurt containers into symbols of care and possibility. With a little creativity, a forgotten item can bloom, inviting delight, education, and inspiration into your backyard. Step back, breathe in the sense of summer, and notice the hum of life thriving in colorful, humble vessels. In these simple cups, you witness how intention and imagination can turn even the smallest objects into treasures. Observe, copy, and modify to create your own CD mosaic stepping stones. Imagine walking barefoot through your backyard on a quiet morning. Each step you take lands on a mosaic of shattered CDs, their fragments glinting like tiny rainbows under the sun. What was once discarded music now carries life into the garden, transforming the path into a playful, sparkling journey. Daisies and lavender lean gently alongside the stones, seeming to nod in approval at this celebration of creativity. The beauty of these stepping stones lies in their individuality. No two stones are alike. Some shimmer with soft lilac hues, others with glints of gold and cerulean. Children are drawn to the path, curious to trace the light bouncing off each fragment. Bees hover, indifferent to origin, yet naturally attracted to the surrounding blooms. The garden hums with gentle life, enriched by the fusion of imagination, sunlight, and repurposed material. To create your own, collect old CDs and carefully break them into small fragments. Arrange them in molds filled with cement, stones, or clay to form stepping stones. Play with patterns, shapes, and color contrasts to capture attention and reflect light beautifully. Consider adding moss or small plants around the edges for a softer, organic integration into the garden. Patience is key. Each piece must be carefully positioned for balance, stability, and aesthetic effect. These DIY stepping stones do more than guide movement. They guide attention. The shimmering surfaces catch eyes, hearts, and imaginations, reminding us that even broken pieces can carry beauty. They encourage slow observation, curiosity, and delight in small wonders. The reflective quality of the CDs adds a dynamic play of light throughout the day, making the garden feel alive and ever-changing. CD mosaic stepping stones are not only practical, they're transformative. They show how discarded objects can become art, how playfulness and imagination can convert ordinary materials into treasures. Walking along the path, you sense the stories embedded in each fragment, a quiet testament to creativity, patience, and the magic of reimagining what others might throw away. With every step, the garden becomes a poetic journey of color, texture, and light, inspiring anyone who wanders through to see potential in the most unexpected places. Observe, copy, and modify these ideas to create your own frying pan wall art. Picture a lazy summer afternoon, where your backyard fence has transformed into a gallery of creativity. Once blackened frying pans, abandoned in drawers or left behind after years of cooking, now hang proudly, each a canvas of imagination and renewal. Some bear hand-painted sunflowers and robins, while others cradle small succulents spilling gracefully over their edges. Each pan is a story, a second chance for an object once ordinary. The garden breathes differently here. Bees drift lazily, butterflies pause, and the warm scent of nearby herbs mingles with the soft hum of summer air. The pan's painted motifs catch the sunlight, casting gentle reflections on the wooden fence and nearby soil. Children walk past, fascinated, noticing details that adults might miss. A tiny robin mid-flight, a delicate succulent nestled in a blackened pan. The space invites curiosity, attention, and quiet admiration. To make your own, gather old frying pans of various sizes and shapes. Clean them and paint with durable outdoor acrylics or enamel paints, designing anything from floral patterns to miniature garden landscapes. Alternatively, transform the pans into small planters by filling them with soil and low-maintenance succulents. Hang them securely on fences, walls, or pergolas using sturdy hooks or nails, experimenting with different heights and arrangements to create visual rhythm. The charm of this DIY project lies in its blend of function and artistry. Each pan is both sculpture and container, a piece of art that interacts with life. The imperfections, the enamel chips, slight rust, or uneven paint, add character, reminding observers that beauty thrives in transformation and imperfection. The wall sings with colors and textures, a patchwork of creativity that celebrates resourcefulness and imagination. Frying pan wall art demonstrates that ordinary objects can transcend their original purpose. By repurposing what was once discarded, you create a meaningful visual dialogue between past and present, utility and beauty. Every glance reveals new details. Every moment spent near them nurtures appreciation for both art and nature. In this way, your backyard becomes a sanctuary where even metal and rust can bloom with life, color, and imagination. Observe, copy, and modify to create your own bed sheet summer hammocks. Imagine a quiet summer afternoon, the air still with warmth, and the gentle rustle of leaves above. Between two sturdy trees, a hammock sways softly, braided and woven from strips of old bed sheets. Stripes of coral, lemon, and sky blue stretch and twist, faded from years of use but vibrant with new purpose. The hammock doesn't just hold weight. It cradles time, memory, and imagination. Children peek curiously at the swaying fabric, wondering at the transformation of what was once ordinary into a sanctuary of comfort. A basket of peaches rests nearby. A teapot sweats quietly in the warmth, and the scent of herbs and flowers mingles with the soft hum of summer. Each strip of fabric tells a story. Mornings once spent in bed, laughter shared across linen, moments of rest and play now braided together into a hammock of possibility. To make your own, gather old bed sheets and cut them into long strips. Braid or weave them tightly, knotting securely to form a durable hammock. You can mix colors and patterns for a playful aesthetic. Suspend the hammock between two strong trees or posts, ensuring stability and safety. Over time, the fabric softens in the sun and breeze, enhancing comfort and charm. The beauty of this DIY lies in its tactile intimacy. Unlike rigid furniture, a hammock responds to touch, movement, and the rhythm of life around it. Sit or lie down and notice the gentle sway, the warmth of sunlight on skin, the hum of bees, and the laughter of children playing nearby. The hammock becomes a private world within the garden, a place for pause, reflection, and creativity. Bed-sheet summer hammocks remind us that beauty can emerge from simplicity. Old fabrics, once forgotten, now cradle life and leisure. They teach the joy of reinvention and the power of resourcefulness. By using what you already have, you transform your backyard into a sanctuary where softness meets color, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. In the sway of each hammock, you feel the essence of summer, calm, color, and the gentle embrace of second chances. Observe, copy, and modify to create your own t-shirt hanging flower baskets. Picture a warm summer afternoon where the pergola above your garden is adorned with colorful hanging baskets, made entirely from old t-shirts. Each strip of fabric is twisted, braided, and knotted with care, transforming soft, faded cotton into sturdy supports for lush blooms. Fuchsia petunias, coral geraniums, and teal-hued trailing vines sway gently in the summer breeze, suspended like floating gardens above the walkway. The charm of these DIY planters lies in the story they tell. Each t-shirt carries memories of seasons past, washed and worn, now reborn as vessels of life and color. Bees hum lazily through the blooms, strawberries and small tomatoes peek shyly from fabric cradles, and herbs nearby fill the air with warmth and sweetness. Children peek upwards, marveling at the delicate interplay of color, texture, and sunlight. Every basket feels alive, a miniature ecosystem hanging in the open air. To create your own, gather old t-shirts, cut them into long strips, and twist or braid them into ropes strong enough to support small plant baskets. You can knot multiple strips together for extra strength and visual interest. Secure the ropes to beams, pergolas, or tree branches, and suspend containers filled with soil and your favorite flowers or small plants. Mixing different colors and patterns creates a playful, cheerful effect that enlivens the entire garden space. The magic of these baskets is in their flexibility. Unlike rigid pots, the fabric responds to the sway of wind, the weight of blooms, and the rhythm of the garden around it. Each basket becomes an interactive element in your outdoor space, inviting observers to look up, lean closer, and notice small details. The curl of a petal, the shine on a strawberry, the shadow of a braid dancing in sunlight. T-shirt hanging flower baskets embody creativity, sustainability, and a joyful approach to DIY gardening. They transform something once considered waste into a functional, beautiful piece of your outdoor space. In the gentle sway of each basket, you feel the hum of summer, the warmth of the sun, and the satisfaction of seeing discarded fabric blossom into life. These baskets are not just planters. They are proof that imagination and care can turn the ordinary into extraordinary. Observe, copy, and modify to create your own cracked ceramic fairy borders. Imagine wandering through a quiet backyard, where a soft path winds gently between herbs, flowers, and patches of sunlight. Along the edges, cracked ceramics, broken teacups, saucers, and tiles form a whimsical border, each fragment carefully placed to create a miniature magical realm. Moss fills the spaces between shards, and tiny violets and white blossoms peek from the gaps, adding a touch of soft, living texture. This is not just a garden. It is a fairy kingdom brought to life from discarded ceramics. Small bark houses and miniature doors hide among the plants, waiting for imaginative visitors to discover them. Each fragment of ceramic tells a story, once cherished, now fractured, yet reborn as part of something enchanting. Children lean down to explore, fingertips tracing the edges of teacups, eyes wide with wonder. Even bees seem to acknowledge the delicate beauty, pausing briefly in their hum before moving on to nearby flowers. To craft your own fairy borders, collect broken ceramic pieces of various sizes and patterns. Place them along garden paths or around small planting beds, arranging them in gentle curves or irregular patterns for a natural look. Add moss, tiny plants, or low-growing flowers between the shards to soften the edges and integrate the borders with the garden environment. Consider miniature fairy elements, like tiny doors, stones, or benches to create hidden details that encourage exploration and storytelling. The magic of this DIY lies in its intimacy and charm. No two borders need be identical. The irregular shapes, imperfect edges, and mix of colors give personality and character. The garden feels alive in miniature, a place of quiet discovery and imagination. Walking along the path, you notice tiny details that reward curiosity. A shard catching sunlight, a petal resting in a curve, the texture of moss under your fingertips. Cracked ceramic fairy borders demonstrate that even broken objects can become vessels of creativity and joy. They transform fragments into frameworks for imagination, encouraging mindfulness, exploration, and delight. By reimagining the discarded, you invite beauty and storytelling into your backyard. In this small-scale world, imperfection becomes art, and every fragment holds potential, showing that magic can grow where attention and care are present. Observe, copy, and modify to create your own glass jar butterfly feeders. Picture a sunlit backyard, where glass jars dangle gently from tree branches. Each jar, once filled with jam or preserves, now holds a sponge soaked in a sweet summer nectar. Lace and ribbon adorn the jars, fluttering softly in the breeze. Butterflies drift gracefully through the garden, landing delicately on the sponges, while bees hover nearby, drawn to the subtle fragrance and vibrant flowers below. The magic of these feeders is in their invitation. They don't force the wildlife to come, but welcome them with charm, color, and care. Zinnias, marigolds, and cone flowers surround the hanging jars, creating a layered scene of color, scent, and life. Children watch in wonder, fascinated by the small creatures fluttering around the suspended glass, noticing patterns of wings and reflections of sunlight on the jar's surfaces. Each jar becomes a portal to a closer connection with nature. To make your own, gather clean glass jars and decorate them with lace, ribbons, or soft paints if desired. Insert small sponges soaked in sugar water to attract butterflies and other pollinators. Hang the jars securely from branches, pergolas, or garden hooks at various heights to create depth and accessibility for insects. Place flowering plants below to enhance the natural attraction and beauty of the scene. The charm of these DIY feeders lies not just in their function, but in the intimacy and observation they encourage. As butterflies land, sip, and flutter away, you witness a rhythm of life that is both delicate and vibrant. The glass jars reflect sunlight, creating small rainbows, while the gentle swaying in the breeze adds a dynamic movement to your garden. Glass jar butterfly feeders demonstrate the beauty of repurposing and mindful gardening. Ordinary objects, like empty jars, can become invitations to life, color, and joy. They teach patience, observation, and the rewards of creating harmony with nature. By transforming simple materials into functional beauty, you cultivate an environment where pollinators thrive, and your backyard becomes a sanctuary of summer wonder, color, and movement. Each flutter of wings, each reflection of sunlight, reminds us that even small gestures can create meaningful connections between humans, nature, and creativity. Observe, copy, and modify to create your own plastic spoon and fork sculptures. Imagine wandering through a backyard filled with color and life, where hidden within flower beds and herbs lie tiny sculptures, delicately crafted from discarded plastic spoons and forks. Dragonflies perch among lavender, spiraled petals peek through mint leaves, and playful insects hover over daisies. Each creation is small but full of character, inviting careful observation and quiet delight. The charm of this DIY lies in its subtlety. These sculptures do not dominate the garden. They surprise and reward the observant. Children discover them while exploring, pointing and laughing as they trace the curves of a twisted fork or the petals of a spoon flower. Bees and butterflies flit nearby, undisturbed, drawn to the real blooms, while the plastic sculptures blend seamlessly with nature. The garden hums with life, playfulness, and imagination. To make your own, collect clean plastic spoons and forks. Twist, bend, and paint them into whimsical shapes like flowers, spirals, insects, or abstract forms. Secure them in the soil or attach them to small stakes for stability. Mixing real flowers and herbs with these creations enhances the visual interplay, creating a dynamic, enchanting space. Use bright colors to attract attention or soft pastels for a more natural, hidden effect. These sculptures teach patience, creativity, and resourcefulness. Each piece requires careful handling and thoughtful placement, turning ordinary utensils into charming works of art. The imperfections, the tiny bends, uneven curves, or slight paint smudges, add personality, reinforcing the garden's handmade charm. Plastic spoon and fork sculptures remind us that whimsy can live in the smallest details. They transform overlooked materials into elements of surprise and delight, turning a garden into a space for storytelling, exploration, and imagination. With a little care and creativity, what was once disposable becomes treasured, enriching both the environment and the observer's experience. Each sculpture, hidden yet vivid, becomes a testament to transformation, patience, and the joy of seeing the extraordinary within the ordinary. Observe, copy, and modify to create your own old frame plant ladders. Imagine stepping into a backyard where the ordinary has been transformed into a whimsical vertical garden. Old wooden photo frames, once holding memories on walls, now stand or hang as ladders for climbing plants. Morning glories twist their stems through the open spaces, sweet peas stretch toward sunlight, and tiny flowers peek from between frames, creating a dynamic tapestry of green and color. The garden feels alive and layered, with plants climbing upward as if reaching for the sky. Each frame tells a story. Its worn edges and peeling paint hint at past lives, while the vibrant greenery it now supports speaks to renewal and transformation. Children wander along the garden, fascinated by how familiar objects like frames can become functional and beautiful supports for living plants. Bees pause, tracing flowers, while sunlight filters through the lattice, casting soft shadows on the soil below. To make your own, collect old picture frames of various sizes. Clean and paint them if desired, or leave them rustic for a natural look. Place them vertically in the garden, secured into the soil, or hang them from sturdy hooks. Plant climbing vines such as morning glories, sweet peas, or clematis at the base, guiding their growth through the frames. You can stack frames at different heights or angles for a playful, layered visual effect. The charm of this DIY lies in its interplay between structure and nature. The frames provide guidance and rhythm, while the plants bring life, color, and movement. Imperfections in the wood, paint, or frame alignment enhance the handcrafted feel, adding character and warmth to the garden. Old frame plant ladders demonstrate the beauty of reimagining the familiar. Ordinary frames, once forgotten, now support growth, life, and creativity. They remind us that even small gestures, placing a frame in the soil, guiding a vine, can transform a space. Walking past these living ladders, you sense a harmony of past and present, structure and freedom, art and life. They invite observation, engagement, and delight, showing that beauty often thrives where imagination meets intention. Observe, copy, and modify to create your own helmet and tire planters. Imagine a summer afternoon in your backyard where everyday objects take on new roles. Old bicycle helmets, once worn for protection, now hang gracefully from tree branches, cradling delicate ferns that sway in the gentle breeze. Nearby, stacked tires rise like towers, each layer filled with soil and a riot of blooms. Lavender, marigolds, bee balm, creating a sanctuary not just for plants, but for pollinators buzzing joyfully among the flowers. The charm of this DIY lies in the combination of whimsy, functionality, and ecological care. Children wander barefoot between the towers, mesmerized by the layers of color, textures, and life. Bees spiral upward, butterflies drift lazily, and even birds pause to observe. The garden hums with energy, alive with movement, color, and the quiet satisfaction of transformation. To make your own, Gather old helmets and clean them thoroughly. Paint in muted greens, warm ochres, or bright, cheerful tones. Then fill with soil and plant ferns or trailing greenery. Secure the helmets with strong cords or hooks from branches, pergolas, or sturdy overhead structures. For tire towers, stack tires vertically, fill each tier with soil, and plant pollinator-friendly flowers or herbs. Paint the tires in bright, inviting colors to create playful layers, attracting both human eyes and insects alike. The beauty of this project is how discarded objects gain a second life while contributing positively to the environment. Helmets that once carried risk now cradle life. Tires that rolled along roads now root a vertical garden that supports pollinators. This juxtaposition of function and art enhances both aesthetics and ecological value, teaching resourcefulness and sustainability in the most visible way. Helmet and tire planters are more than gardening. They are storytelling in 3 dimensions. They demonstrate how imagination, patience, and creativity can transform the ordinary into extraordinary. Every helmet, fern, and tire tower is a testament to the power of reuse, turning waste into wonder. As sunlight glints off the paint and petals, the garden becomes a living illustration of transformation, resilience, and joy, offering inspiration to anyone who steps inside. As our journey through creative transformation comes to a gentle pause, take a moment to breathe in the calm of your backyard, now alive with colors, textures, and stories born from what was once overlooked. Here at TERAFLORA Studio, we celebrate the quiet magic of turning ordinary objects, plastic bottles, old fabrics, broken ceramics, into vibrant expressions of life. Each creation holds not only plants and blooms, but also the patience, care, and imagination of hands that dared to see potential where others saw waste. Look closely. The soft sway of hanging baskets, the delicate glint of mosaic stepping stones, the gentle glow of repurposed lanterns, all invite a sense of wonder, a pause, a whisper of calm. Children laugh softly as they explore, bees flit from bloom to bloom, and sunlight dances across petals and painted surfaces. Every corner tells a story of renewal, of intention, of care. Even the smallest detail, a twisted fork, a painted yogurt cup, a braided sheet, holds a lesson in patience, creativity, and the poetry of everyday life. We hope these ideas inspire you not only to create, but to notice, to slow down, and to cherish the possibilities around you. Let your hands shape, braid, twist, and paint, letting imagination bloom freely. And as you nurture your garden, you nurture the quiet joy of making something extraordinary from the ordinary. If this journey has sparked your curiosity or warmed your heart, we warmly invite you to subscribe to TERAFLORA Studio. By joining our community, you embrace creativity, sustainability, and the subtle joy of transforming your space with intention and care. Step forward, gather what you thought was spent, and let it flourish. Let every creation tell a story, every bloom sing softly, and every corner of your backyard become a sanctuary of wonder, calm, and quiet delight. The magic is in your hands, and the garden waits.